So again, welcome everyone. This topic is very near and dear to my heart, and I'm very excited to talk to you today on why I believe, and hopefully you will too after I'm done, cultural competence should be the new DEI. Think for a moment, think about a time when you felt truly seen, not just acknowledged, but deeply understood. A time when your unique perspective wasn't just tolerated, but actively sought out and valued. Your opinion mattered. How did you feel? Did you feel empowered? Liberated? Like you could bring your entire self to the table? That feeling, that sense of belonging and valued contribution is the bedrock of any thriving environment, whether it's a team, a company, or a community. And for too long, we've been striving to build that foundation through initiatives often labeled as diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI. Now, I want to be clear. The intentions behind DEI have been crucial. They pushed us to acknowledge disparities and strive for fairer systems. But lately, we've seen a shift. Some governments, some corporations, for various reasons, are pulling back on these initiatives. Some argue that they've become divisive. Others struggle to see the tangible impact of these initiatives. But the fundamental need for inclusive and respectful environments hasn't vanished. In fact, in our increasingly interconnected and complex world, it's more critical than ever. That's why I believe it's time for an evolution. It's time to move beyond the acronym and embrace a more holistic and universally acceptable framework called cultural competence. You see, cultural competence isn't just about ticking boxes or meeting quotas. It's not solely focused on addressing historical inequities. Cultural competence encompasses the very essence of diversity and inclusion. But it places a profound emphasis on equality through understanding. As Sandra Miles wisely noted in her recent article, to shift from the traditional to the inclusive, we can start by adopting these strategies grounded in empathy, respect, and collaboration. As a certified cultural management coach, I've seen firsthand the transformation or the transformative power of cultural competence. At its heart, it fosters psychological safety, a space where individuals feel free to be authentically themselves without fear or judgment or reprisal. It's where you and me can become we. You see, I was raised in an area that was not very diverse at all. In fact, there were probably 4 non-white students in my high school, in my graduating class of 73. When I moved to Hawaii in my early 20s, I discovered this land of multiculturalism, inclusion, and belonging. I thought I had landed in quite the preferred and amazing state. While many areas in Michigan have developed into a hallmark of multiculturalism, Hawaii still holds some of the best practices of cultural competence through what is called the aloha spirit. But cultural competence isn't a passive state. It's an active process for navigating the shift of the inevitable differences that arise from people from diverse backgrounds. These differences are called cultural dilemmas. A dilemma emerges when 2 or more stakeholders hold distinct cultural values or have different agendas related to that particular situation. In a global team, trying to think about and decide on a communication style would be a dilemma. Some cultures prioritize directness, while others value indirectness and saving face. This is a cultural dilemma. Another example of a cultural dilemma is the concept of time. In some cultures, it's acceptable to be late, as long as you get there when you get there. Other cultures are very agenda-driven, right? Time is money. And this is where the active process of cultural competence comes in. It's a framework built on 4 key steps. The steps are to recognize, respect, reconcile, and realize. So first, we recognize the existence of different cultural values and perspectives. This requires awareness and a willingness to acknowledge that there isn't always one right way of doing things. Imagine that. Second, we respect these different values, and if we don't personally agree with them, we can acknowledge that. This involves genuine curiosity and a commitment to understanding the underlying reasons behind those perspectives, and it creates psychological safety. And third, we actively seek to reconcile these differences. This is not about compromise where everyone loses a little. It's about finding a creative, third-way solution to integrate all the valuable aspects of each perspective, aiming for a win-win-win outcome. That's a win for you, a win for me, and a win for the community. And then realize. We realize the benefits of this reconciled approach, a solution that is more robust, more inclusive, and ultimately more effective because it has considered a wider range of viewpoints. The answer also lies in focusing on 3 fundamental principles: empathy, respect, and collaboration. Empathy allows us to step into another person's shoes, to try and understand their experience and perspectives from their cultural lens. It requires active listening and a genuine curiosity about others. Respect acknowledges the inherent worth and dignity of every individual, regardless of their background. It means valuing their contributions and creating a safe space for them to express themselves authentically. And then there's collaboration. Collaboration moves us beyond mere tolerance to actively working together, leveraging the diverse talents and insights within a group to achieve shared goals. It's about recognizing that our differences are not obstacles, but rather powerful assets. Imagine a world where our workspaces, our communities, and our global interactions are consistently guided by empathy, respect, and collaboration. Imagine the innovations we could unlock, the problems we could solve, the deeper connections we could forge. Cultural competence is not just a nice-to-have thing. It's a fundamental skill for navigating the complexities of our modern world. It's about building bridges instead of walls. It's about moving beyond the limitations of a single perspective and embracing the richness that diversity truly offers. Again, it creates the win-win-win situation as much as possible. I am always amazed at how much better the end product is when there are diverse values welcomed at the table. The momentum behind traditional DEI may be shifting, but the fundamental human need for belonging, for feeling valued, remains stronger than ever. Let's seize this opportunity to evolve. Let's make cultural competence the new DEI, a dynamic, active, and universally applicable framework that empowers us to build truly inclusive and thriving environments for everyone. Let's choose empathy. Let's choose respect. Let's choose collaboration. Let's choose cultural competence, and together we can build a future where everyone can truly feel that their contribution matters and that they are part of the team. Coming together is a great beginning. Working together is success, especially when that success is built on respect and empathy for each of our collaborations. Thank you.